Hey, y'all, and welcome to another community update from Grim Syndicate. I am your host tonight. I am Justin Mezzell. I am one of the folks that's working on this project, and I just want to thank you all for being here. It's been a really busy week around the ETA, but less so for me. I was out on vacation for the week, and so yeah, it's been a little less hectic for me. But Lothar and Detrick have both been pulling their fair share of answering a lot of questions, of working with the community, and also figuring out a lot of the technology stuff. So we're going to hop right in. I know last time I did try and say that I was going to keep it shorter than the previous one, and I damned myself because we ended up doing one that was longer. So this time I'm just going to say, screw it. Whatever the length is whatever the length it ends up being. And so that's what it is. I won't promise you I'm going to keep it short. What I will promise you, though, is I will post this video in the channel. I will also do a text version of the update of like the notes and any updates that I gave. And that's what I can tell you here. So that's what you get. And I hope that's what you came here for. All right, here we go. Let's jump right in. Biggest thing, largest topic we want to cover, mint price. We're good. We're moving forward. We're ready. We have settled on a mint price, and I am really excited to announce that we are going to be minting at 2 Sol. We feel really confident after, looking around at kind of where we are, where we want to place, essentially, what does the ecosystem currently look like, but then ultimately, where do we want to kind of find ourselves here? And I think the biggest decision here, as we've been looking, is we absolutely want to make sure that this process is affordable, it's accessible, and it's fair for everybody who's jumping into this minting process. And so for us, a lot of that was making sure that when we price these Grims, that it really does work for the community. Now, we understand that everybody's in very different financial situations. We also know that announcing something like this may mean that there are people that's right now just like, damn, like that's just not what I can commit to at this point in time. We fully understand that. Please know that, as I've said before, and I will say it again, this community is open to you. Please feel and know that you have a home here, even if like owning a Grim is not what you're choosing to do right now. We love that you're here. We love that you could be a part of the community. And honestly, for us to be successful, it is not just about how many we sell here. Now, that said, there are some things obviously that do happen with a lot of these markets that can go up, they can go down, things can change. And so because of that, we do just want to say we are absolutely going to keep an eye on the markets to make sure that we won't change anything. Now, should something astronomical change, we are absolutely open to adjusting some of these things and making sure that we can reflect kind of what happens. I mean, it's what, 10 days or something now, I think. Or no, that's not 10. I guess it'd be 12. It's 12 days away. We understand that. But we also know that we need to be really thoughtful about what this looks like as the time goes, and things do move really quickly. So anyhow, 2 Sol, just going back, that is the minting price that we have landed on. The other aspect that we had talked about as a group was community wallet. I know we've had a lot of people asking about that. Do we have future plans for that? What does that look like? And we let you all know, we know we want to do it, but it felt really performative unless we can actually give you numbers and say, yes, this is what we're putting in stone. This is what we're committing to. What we have decided is that we are going to do 20% of that minting, that initial minting that's happening, as well as the royalties going forward. We are absolutely going to put into a community wallet. I had Lothar write something for me here to read because I never know the exact wording for how all the technical aspects work. But essentially 20% of the minting proceeds will be transferred there. And that same wallet will be included in the creator's array and the metadata of each NFT. The cool thing about this is going to be something that you all can essentially follow within the community about how it's being used, about where it's going, and about what it looks like. We are going to be using Candy Machine to do that because of the contracts that are set up here. So that's a little bit of kind of the inner workings that are going to happen there. Now, as far as specificity of all that's going on in there, I will say, yes, this is a stay tuned, but not because it's not something that's top of mind, but because it's something that we want to make sure that the community actually gets a voice in. And the people that are making up the Grim Syndicate should be the ones who determine where do some of things go. We know that charity and giving to these things and education has been really important to us. I think for me personally, I'll just give you a personal anecdote. It's like I see the opportunity to do something awesome with this money as something that is a gift that we have. but it's also our responsibility to turn around and do something really, really great with it. And I'm really proud that both Detrick and Lothar share that mindset and giving back and thinking about how do we be mindful about when we're entrusted with money, what do we do with it? Where does it go? And how do we make sure that we're able to use it in a way that's able to create wealth or opportunity for other people? And so that's absolutely something that will be top of mind for us. And we absolutely want to invite the community to be a voice in this process and to know that we are here and we want to listen and we want to understand like what are some of those great places that we can put this money to use in. And so that is what you have for us, a commitment right there for 20%. It is the minting. It is also the royalties going forward that we want to make sure goes somewhere good. And we're really, really excited about that. All right. Third thing, website. What does it look like this week? If you remember, we did launch the website. I guess it would be last week. Yes, last Monday. Yeah, it's crazy how weeks just kind of, congeal. This week, the big thing that we want to add to the website is we would love to put together a how-to guide about what it looks like to get some SOL, to be able to put it in like a wallet like Phantom, what the minting process is going to look like. So we've already got a little bit of information on the website that's kind of a little more beginner friendly for some of these things. But for a lot of people that haven't yet used this chain, we want to make sure that we do have a guide there that's going to be able to help them out understand a bit more about what this process might look like on a more technical level. So stay tuned for that. We're actively working on it. And we'll let you know when this is up, and hopefully it's something you want to share around that can help other people understand a little bit more about this ecosystem. Last week we did the community conversations aspect, which is where I kind of looked at everything that kept going on in Discord, and I recognize that I'm like very compelled to be present in the Discord, but not everybody is, or not everybody has the bandwidth, and that is totally okay. So what I have tried to do with this little segment is think about some of the conversations that we've been having that I thought really held some weight for me, that required me to be a little introspective or to think a little bit harder about getting a better answer and how we can communicate some of those things. So a couple things did kind of pop up as top of mind from this past week. We've gotten a few questions like, hey, what's after the minting process? What's next for Grim Syndicate? Is this just kind of a PFP project and y'all are just kind of done? I know we talked about roadmap a little bit in the last one and just saying we're not there yet. We definitely want to get there. We have been talking a lot about what this could look like if we have a level of success that enables us to do really awesome things. I'm trying to think about how to say this without like, this is what we're going to do. This is exactly it. I will let you know that to me, when it comes to writing this story and it comes to the world that we're creating, like this feels like the story I've wanted to tell for like a long time. And I think that this is not the only avenue that I want to have this story hold weight. There are pieces of this story that are really powerful for me that aren't just like the lore that we've kind of put out there. And so I will say there are absolutely further venues that we want to take. There are other pieces of the story that we'd love to put together, whether it's a second wave of minting that we have some really cool ideas about what this would look like, which I know we haven't even done this first one. There's also a whole bunch of ideas that we've had about like, how do we break it outside of the screen? Vinyl toys were definitely one of the like when I designed the Grim character, I'll admit, you probably see they're kind of shaped like this really like geometric kind of form. And the idea of a Grim actually being a vinyl toy was a huge inspiration for the way I thought about doing this. And so we've talked about, do we have a more general public, vinyl that kind of anybody could purchase and it's more of like kind of a basic one. And then is there the option to be able to get ones of some of the traits that you have on yours or some of the different, bases or skins that we have available. There's a whole lot of thought that we put into there. There's also a ton of other like little awesome, just fun things we've thought about doing, like patches and badges and pins for, the ETA or the Grim Syndicate. We've also got just a couple of like physical stories that we're trying to figure out what's a really cool way to tell some of these things. What does it look like to animate some of these kinds of things? When we had created the style and really land on it, kind of that like rubber hose, Max Fleischer, original Walt Disney kind of style has been a very big inspiration for how this works. And so what would it look like to see this in motion, to be able to build out more of the world, to be able to show what does the thereafter look like? I know we really haven't even gotten into some of that kind of stuff, which is where the souls are transported. What does, the actual, I'm so sorry. I just lost my train of thought. Yeah. What does it look like with where the Grims work at the ETA? What does that whole organization look like? And so we did a little bit this week, and you'll see an illustration a little bit later about that, which is cool. It's cool to flesh out some of the world. But I just want to say we are fully committed to building in this, and we hope you are too. We hope that you are excited about what the future looks like, not just for products and not just for goods, in terms of the community and building this incredible community of people that we have that are here and are present and are kind and generous. And they're just some of the warmest people ever. We're going to continue building out these channels that have some specificity, so you feel like there's a place where you can connect with others that are interested in what you're interested in, where you can talk about yourself and get advice from other people that have been where you are or that are where you are, or maybe you can mentor somebody and lift them up to bring them to where you are. There's just so much more that we have, and we love the opportunity to be able to do this. We would love to be able to get, events kicked off once the world is in a little bit more of a better place, to meet people in person, to talk to you all, to understand what is going on in your world and really share why we're here, why we do what we do. Yeah. There's a lot here that's kind of like my heart, which is why I could talk about this one forever. But that is where I'll leave it right now. We are absolutely looking to concretize some of these plans, make sure we get some things set in stone, and so that will definitely happen in the near future. Other thing I want to bring up, and I know we talked about it today after we did the stream, which was we have some slots that have opened up from people that were previously on the Ancients role, that have left the server. And so there are some seats that are available. We promised to mint 200 of the Golden Ancients, which is a skin that's only available to people who have the Ancient role in Discord. We are absolutely thinking about a way to be able to distribute these back into the community. And of course, we want it to be in a fair and equitable way. And we're thinking about some ideas about what this could look like. But if you have any input, please always feel free to reach out. Let us know what this looks like. What we don't want it to end up being, though, I will just give you a heads up, is we don't want it to feel scammy, like you need to invite 200 people and that's how you're going to do it. We do want to be a little more thoughtful about what this looks like per our last conversation about the kind of community that we're trying to build here. So that's just kind of something that I'll throw out. And then the only other thing that I will say, kind of just as a community thing, this kind of reminded me of, which is just, we've committed to growing slow to make sure that we're not doing anything scummy or scammy or skeezy, another S word. We want to make sure that whatever we do here, we're thinking about the impact that we have on external communities outside of just Grim Syndicate, about what it means to be able to have an ethical community that thinks about their presence and how we show up for other people. And so I will just say, that to me feels like the heart of where we absolutely want to be. But one thing that you will notice is that our Discord is smaller. We're not the big 20,000 person Discord, or the one who at launch, we've got, tens of thousands of people already settled in the Discord. And some of that is intentional, but then some of that is, of course we want this project to be successful. And so we're actively thinking about ways to be able to hey, how do we increase visibility of this project? How do we make sure that the people that are excited about this project find out about it? That we can ensure that there is success here, so we can continue doing some of the things that we're doing. And so I would just invite any of you, if you have ideas for ways to do that don't feel skeezy, that don't feel like it's just, it's not us. If I had to do that, I'd feel weird about it. And so I'd rather not. If it gives you that pit in your stomach, or you're just that does not feel good, that's probably something we don't want to do. But if you have ideas about what it looks like to get that visibility, to be able to really make sure the project has been elevated, that the people who would be interested can find it, please let us know. And of course, the big thing is your word is always more impactful than ours. You all are in communities, whether it's in person or online, where your word will always count more than Justin Mezzell, that random internet guy who talks for super long times into the camera. It is always going to be more impactful to hear from you. And so please share what we're doing here if you find it compelling. Tell people about it if you feel like this is a space that they would enjoy. Because, of course, this is not just about getting butts in seats. This is about making sure that we build a thriving community of people that really do want to create a great space for creativity, for appreciation of art, to talk about anything from ethics to technology, whatever it is. We're building it here and we're really proud of it. And we've already got the makings of a fantastic community. So just crazy grateful for all of you. Crazy grateful even about who might join tomorrow. I think it's a really cool thing. Awesome. We did this last week, so let's do a Pretty Things post where we'll just kind of talk about some things that I drew this week while on vacation, because I can't help myself. And this project is way too exciting to like fully turn off. We got the candle head. We got kind of like a witch hat over here. We got the gashapon thing, which is that machine that you put quarters into and it dispenses little trinkets. And I didn't even know it had a name, and now I know it has a name. But I didn't know it from here. I actually found it, I think, through the Adventure Zone podcast where they kept talking about the fantasy gashapon. Anyhow, we also did... everybody had not everybody, a lot of people had requested some, Princess Mononoke stuff. So I did the Yakul horns. We also kind of have this like ancient reverie kind of thing. We got a Tesla coil that somebody recommended. We've got this like really cool crescent headgear that actually pairs really well with the future one you'll see. We've also got the Hanya horns here that are going together. So just all kinds of horns. I love the horns on these Grims. I just think they look so awesome and kind of demonic and just neat. We've also got kind of that Oni mask that was also recommended, which was just super fun to draw and just really wild. We did the bow tie because people were asking for a bow tie, and I realized that's a really easy thing to make. So yeah, we got a bow tie now. We got power armor. We've got like traditional samurai armor going on. We've got like that 2005 Game Boy style, see-through stuff, which by the way, they should bring those back. This aesthetic ruled, and no one would say it didn't. It's the freaking best. We got a new rock, like stone golem one. We got the moon going on here. We got a glass one that's just see-through and it's transparent and it's the color of whatever the background is in there. And then today I made this like Grim art department thing because I did a stream, which by the way, if you were at the stream, first off, thank you for being there. It's a long time to do things live. Now, don't get me wrong, recording these videos is, I don't know, it's a little easier, I guess, in some ways and less easy. Because, I'm just like rattling off this like kind of presentation that I have going on. So what we did today was I went on Twitch and I did some illustration live for people to watch me mess things up in person while I did. And honestly, it was pretty fun. It was super fun. If you enjoyed it, we can definitely commit to doing another one. Let me know what you thought about it. If you'd like to see more of those, we can definitely find some time. It'll probably be in the evenings, or maybe we can do another weekend stream. I don't know yet. We'll figure out a good way to do that. But yes, that's the Grim art department here, which is bone brushes. I mean, come on, that's just fun. That's just fun. And then, like I said, we did a little bit of lore, like we showed a little ETA office, and it was like, let's make it like both kind of like fun, but also like it's a little bureaucratic. These people have like PTO and vacation days and all of the normal stuff. And so yeah, I do love the bottom sign, like ask us about Grim Syndicate tryouts, inquire within. It's just kind of fun and kind of silly. So I am looking forward to doing more like just world building stuff, like getting out of drawing Grims for a bit and just showing the world is a really, really fun thing. And of course there's the I'm doing my part reference to Starship Troopers because I can't help myself. All right, that will do it for this week's Grim Syndicate community update. And I say week, I don't know, community updates don't really have a timeline tied to that, but that is what's going on around the Grim Syndicate. Thank you so much for being here. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like, you're here and it's stinking awesome. And I'm so happy that we get to do this. I don't think that there's been a day that I've woken up and since we like launched this thing and not just been like, oh my gosh, like people are just here and they're watching us do this and they're like on the journey with us. And as a designer and illustrator who often kind of works in the background of kind of what's going on, to actually be able to do something in real time with you people has been a really, really powerful thing that I'm really honestly so grateful that we get to do. Thank you for letting us do it. Thank you for being a part of this. I am so sorry once again. We did 20 minutes this time, but you know what? I said I didn't care about length, and I still don't. Maybe next week I'll go 21. Goodbye.